You believe that if I pretend to punch him, he will move." The boxer grinned while bouncing on his footballs as if the pavement were his ring. His voice wasn't loud, but it cut through the crowd like a blade, just enough for people to turn and for cell phones to rise. It wasn't a question, it was a dare, a flex, the kind of line meant to prove something to someone, maybe himself. They were standing in front of the unknown soldier's tomb, where time slows down and voices become quiet, but not his right now. Because in his mind, he wasn't standing in a place of worship, but rather in front of an audience. The guard didn't move, of course he didn't. Standing motionless in full ceremonial uniform, rifle-shouldered expression locked in steel, and he didn't flinch when the boxer laughed. He didn't blink when he took another step forward, crossing the invisible line of respect, and he didn't flinch when the boxer laughed. And he didn't blink when he took another step forward, crossing the invisible line of respect that every American knows not to touch anyone in the crowd. He did a quick jab, not full force, but sharp enough to catch air and brush the brim of the guard's cap just enough to say, "I touched him just enough to feel powerful," and then everything changed in a single fluid motion like a spring snapping free. The tomb guard pivoted rifle, lowered boots. Slicing across the stone with terrifying precision, his voice erupted from deep within. "Stand back from the tomb," the words boomed with centuries of silence behind them, the kind of voice that doesn't shout for volume but for legacy. The boxer stumbled back, hands half up, face drained of color, but the guard didn't chase, he didn't break formation. He took 3 steps forward, then returned to his post. The message had been delivered, and then came the others from behind the black rails, from shadowed corners of the plaza. 4 more soldiers stepped out, honor guard, formal and focused. Not running, not rushing, just appearing with boots like thunder, with presence like judgment. The crowd was still. No laughter now, no snickering, just quiet, and cameras that had gone from filming a prank to documenting a reckoning. A higher-ranking officer approached the boxer calmly, his nameplate read Colton. His posture was built on decades of command. He didn't need backup, but he had it. "You just struck a member of the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment," he said evenly, "in front of civilians, in front of veterans, in front of a tomb that honors every American who never made it home." The boxer tried to speak. "It wasn't like that. You touched a soldier during a sacred post," Colton said, not raising his voice but making it heavy enough to pin the man in place. "You thought he was a prop, a mannequin. You thought this place was about you." Silence hung. "Let me tell you what you didn't see," Colton went on to say. That the guard stood motionless for more than an hour in 100 heat and freezing rain, through injuries and exhaustion, because behind that silence was a promise to remember every soul without a name, to never let the world forget who gave everything and got nothing in return. The boxer's fists had lowered, he was no longer bouncing, and his feet were flat. He looked like a boy caught in a fire he had started but was unable to contain. The guard he had attempted to provoke turned his head just enough to meet the boxer's eyes. His face was calm, but beneath that calm was something more terrifying than rage, uncheckable purpose. That one look said everything. "You don't scare me. You don't matter here. This moment is not yours." Colton stepped closer. "We're not going to arrest you because that would give you a story and a headline. We're going to do something worse instead." The boxer blinked and said, "We're going to let you stand here while this crowd walks past you, while children ask their parents why you disrespected a hero's grave, while your video goes viral." Slowly, the ceremony resumed, and the changing of the guard started. Once more, boots clicked, rifles flipped, and the silence returned heavy and proud. The boxer stood alone. People passed him with eyes full of quiet disappointment. No one scolded him, which would have been mercy. What he felt was worse, irrelevance. 30 minutes later he was gone, with no fanfare, no words, just a lesson buried deep in his gut, where shame lingers longer than bruises. The guard never stopped, never blinked, and never changed his expression, because he wasn't there for clowns, he was there for ghosts. Before we wrap up this tale, certain areas are protected by discipline rather than walls, and other teachings require solitude to remind you that not everything is about you. If this tale resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and leave a karma remark below. You may also let us know where you're watching from.